Good morning, I am Jason Ellis and this is TechAvail News. Today is Wednesday, March 31st. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Here are your top entertainment industry news headlines to know from yesterday going into your workday today. And don't forget to stay towards the end for some fun Game of Thrones news, but let's get into the day. Our first news story of the day, Sylvester Stallone has put on Instagram that he is working on a prequel to Rocky. It's, tough for him, I guess, to let go of this character. I also thought Rocky, the first one, was essentially the prequel to Rocky because it's all about his rise to fame. So I'm very curious what Stallone is going to be working on. He's saying he's planning on this to be 10 episodes, multiple seasons, ideally for a streamer. My gut is he's probably seen the success of Cobra Kai and wants to emulate that. I love Rocky, not against this. But we'll see if this is just going to be a reiteration of the OG Rocky. So more to come. It's very early stages. Just an announcement from Stallone. Yesterday, NFL owners have announced that they are officially going to be having a 17th game added into the regular season by way of limiting the preseason 4 games to now just 3 games. This, I think, is going to be a big explanation of the $100 billion price point for all those TV rights deals, because all these networks are now getting an extra game, which is going to be a lot more ad space to sell. This is great. I think fans have been asking for this for the past few years. The 16-game regular season is great, but when standings get so close, everyone's kind of wanting another 17th game to show a little bit of a differentiation. And on top of this announcement, they are also showing that the international games, now all teams will have one international game over an 8-year period. So our European friends don't have to only be watching the Jacksonville Jaguars anymore. So makes a lot of sense. And for us in LA, be ready. The Super Bowl is coming to us officially now on February 13th, 2022 at our SoFi Stadium. That is the home of the LA Rams and the LA Chargers. Post-COVID, Super Bowl, big gathering. I don't know about you, but I'm going to probably try to, Airbnb out of my condo and get out of Dodge. But if you get tickets, please invite me. But smart move by the NFL for adding on another game, to the regular season. I know we talked about NFTs before when A3 brought up that they are creating their own NFT division to help clients utilize this new technology. Quickly, NFT stands for non-fungible token. This is essentially almost the new Wild West of high-value art trading, but in the digital space. But at first, from yesterday's announcement, Legendary Entertainment is going to be creating a 7 digital artwork collection of NFTs based on Godzilla versus Kong. They have employed digital artist Boss Logic, also known as Cody Abdo, and Terra Virtual Limited to help create these pieces. And this is just the start. NFTs may be a fad, they may be here to stay, no one knows, but blockchain technology is starting to be utilized in different ways, and NFTs are essentially the new wild frontier of this. So Legendary doing this, I highly expect other production companies and studios start to take advantage of this new financial income structure. I mean, these things are selling from, the Jack Dorsey from Twitter sold his very first tweet ever for $2.5 million. Will these artwork get that high? Who knows? But a lot of artwork are trading in the $30,000 range. So that's not, money to laugh at. I think the big question to come is when actors or directors or other people who start to use something from a film, who owns this? And I guarantee lawsuits are to come, because if you play a character in a movie, that's not you. That's going to be owned by, let's just say, Warner Brothers. So this is cool to see. Obviously, Legendary owns Godzilla and Kong, so they can do this very safely. But what happens when a non-corporation does this? Lot to figure out. I think that NFTs are still something that needs to be explored further and how Hollywood can start utilizing it. But blockchain technology, is something that needs to start being investigated on how that can be utilized in entertainment. I know my buddy told me about real estate using it for potentially for escrow accounts. So we'll see where in the finance spectrum NFTs settle on. And a couple of renewals. CBS's Young Sheldon has been announced that they are getting a 3-season renewal. I know that this has been doing very well for CBS. Chuck Lorre and Steve Molero showrun this project. It's obviously the prequel, not the prequel. It's the character of Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. But CBS also already renewed other Chuck Lorre project, Bob Hart's Abishola, then the other ones, The Neighborhood and The Equalizer. But having a 3-season pickup is obviously showing the trust in this project for CBS. Dancing with the Stars will also be getting a renewal, marking its 30th season on ABC. They are just behind Survivor and The Amazing Race for reality series season orders. Pretty crazy. I mean, kudos to the creators of this format because it's not only domestic, it's international. Obviously a great cash cow, and still, even though the ratings have been falling for ABC, the numbers are still in a comfortable zone that this does deserve another pickup. In attachment news, Hulu's limited series, The Dropout, it was announced a couple of days ago that Amanda Seyfried has replaced Kate McKinnon to play con woman Elizabeth Holmes. Obviously, this story is about Elizabeth Holmes and her company Theranos and how they really took Silicon Valley for a lot of money. Also joining the cast is now Naveen Andrews, who I loved from Lost. He is going to be playing Sunny Balwani, who was Elizabeth Holmes' boyfriend and business partner. Well, I should say secret boyfriend and public business partner. I think this limited series is actually coming together very nicely. I like the casting of Seyfried. No offense, I like Kate McKinnon, but I think Seyfried is going to do a stronger, more poetic justice to the story. And a smart move by NBC, and I'm very curious what the price point was for this, but officially Ariana Grande is coming onto The Voice to replace Nick Jonas. She is going to be joining Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, and Blake Shelton on the judging panel. Huge win for NBC. Obviously, Ariana Grande is at the top of the charts right now, and Gen Z, millennials, major fan base. So I think this is a smart get for NBC to really put a revitalization into this ongoing reality series. So smart job by NBC. The CW's reboot of the 4400 has announced 2 series regular cast announcements. Joseph David Jones is going to be playing Reverend Johnson, and Kayla Johnson is on to play LaDonna. This is the reboot of the original 4400 that was on the USA, but paying attention to on the fringe people who weren't noticed to be missing. This is coming from Arian Jackson and Anna Frick as executive producers. They did the reboot already of Walker for CW. They come from the Riverdale camp. Great on them for continuing to have great success with CW. I am just getting a little bit tired of all these reboots. Yes, this is a retelling, and I do like this 4400 because it is taking the universe and looking at different aspects and different angles of it. So I am giving kudos to that. I'm just hungry for fresh projects out there. More CW news. Donald Faison is going to be playing Professor Utonium in the Powerpuff Girls pilot. I love Donald Faison. I'm a huge Scrubs fan. I think this is interesting casting. I read this pilot. I didn't really get that big of a comedy tone to it. Yes, it's comedic, but more adult comedy. So Donald Faison, I feel, is much more happy comedy, which Utonium has this little air of innocence to him. So I think it's gonna be fun, but I'm very curious how this pilot, just in general, is coming together, especially with the previous cast announcements, and just the reimagining of a very beloved IP. So great for Faison to get this job. I'm just curious. I find this next project very interesting. Woody Harrelson is going to be playing the role of Heinrich Himmler, who is known as one of the architects of the Holocaust. This is a project by Oren Movement, who him and Woody have worked on previous projects together. This is going to be based on the book that is essentially being centered on Felix Kirsten, who was Heinrich Himmler's personal physician and prisoner. He essentially helped manipulate Himmler. So this is very much a psychological thriller project, because essentially Kirsten would tell Himmler certain things about his health and make him slow down, saving thousands of lives in concentration camps. So the end of this cool, harrowing story sounds very fascinating. I think O.R. Moverman is a great director and great writer. I hope he executes this correctly, but Woody Harrelson, I know, will do this project justice, so very exciting announcement. In some fun news, Game of Thrones is going to be coming to the stage. Simon Painter and Tim Lawson are on to produce. Duncan Macmillan and George R.R. Martin are writing. George is overseeing. Duncan's doing the writing. And Dominic Cook is set to direct. Why not? Game of Thrones is a massive world, massive property. Why not make it a stage adaptation? It is not an adaptation of the series. Essentially what George R.R. Martin said, it's concentrating on Harrenhal, and it's going to be a great tournament of knights that come in during the year of the false spring. So it's going to be obviously the backdrop of this tournament, and then shit will hit the fan. So good to utilize the world and not the the TV adaptation. So curious to see how it does come to stage, but why not? Game of Thrones is awesome. Cool world. Have fun with it. Those are all of our stories for today for you to know going to your workday. Hopefully it was enough. Once again, I am Jason Ellis. Please remember to like and subscribe. Having a lot of fun to do this, and have a great Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow morning.